This example completely proves that my wife is so much better looking than me. See, last week we went out grocery shopping at a brand spanking new supermarket that opened up around the corner, and the cashier put a plastic divider down in between our groceries. Or is it the other way around? Oh! Box of condoms, $6.99. Cashier's face when I ask where the fitting room is, priceless. Tom Brady walks into a grocery store and he buys a bag of whatever for $1.75. How much does he give the cashier? He gives her $2 so he can get a quarterback. If you smell. Why is the Hockey Hall of Fame situated in Toronto? So that Leafs fans can remember what the cup looks like.
What do you want? Let's play ball.
What does Johnny Depp do when his kids aren't home? Cocaine. What do Santa Claus and Bill Cosby have in common? They both come while you're asleep. What you talking about, Willis? I just want to take a moment here to thank you so very much for watching my videos and subscribing to my channel. Please, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and hit that bell too, so you can be notified about my new content, which I release twice a week. Thanks again, and back to the show. Now it's time for Don't Push Me, 'cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. Ha ha ha. Who is Grandmaster Flash? In 1992, this band let us know that I'm too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York, and Japan. Who is Right Said Fred? Husband. What's for dinner, hun? Wife. Nothing. Husband. But we had nothing last night. Wife. I know, isn't it terrific? I made enough for 2 days. A young kid goes to the corner store with his weekly allowance from his parents, and he usually gets a candy bar or a chocolate or something, but this time, to the cashier's surprise, he brings up a bottle of laundry detergent. What do you need this for, kid? Asked the cashier. The young boy explains how his dog is filthy and nasty and stinks bad and he needs a bath. The cashier explains to him that it's a terrible idea and he may even kill the dog. The kid listens to the advice, but he proceeds to buy it anyways. A week or so later, the kid goes into the store and he buys a candy bar and he brings it to the counter. The cashier rings him up and asks, "So, how's your dog doing?" To which the little boy replies, "Oh, he died." The cashier tells him, "I told you it was a bad idea to clean him with laundry detergent." Nah, I don't think it was the detergent that did it. I think it was the rinse cycle. What you talking about, Willis? I overheard a girl telling off a guy on the bus, and she says to him, "You deserve to get a hand job from Edward Scissorhands." Back then, a dad had like 3 to 4 kids. Nowadays, kids have 3 or 4 dads. Man, climate change is crazy. The most beautiful blonde woman you've ever seen walks into this drugstore. And she walks to the pharmacy area and asks if they have extra large condom. The cashier says yeah, and he points down to aisle 15. About 30 minutes go by and the pharmacist notices that the blonde is still looking at the condoms. So he decides to see if she needs any help. He says, "Did you find the extra large condoms okay?" The blonde says, "Yes. Now I'm just waiting for a man to come and buy some." So I was sitting on a bus the other week behind a mom and her young son, maybe about 7 or 8 years old. And the kid kept looking at me and making all kinds of funny faces at me. After a few minutes of this, I got a little tired and I said, hey, you know, when I was a young boy, my mom told me that if I made ugly faces like that at people, that the wind would change and I would stay that way. And the little shit replies, well, you can't say you weren't warned. The cashier rings up a box of garbage bags for the customer. The customer says, I don't know why I keep buying these things. I just end up throwing them out anyway. A guy goes to the florist and he buys some beautiful red flowers. And as he's paying for them, the cashier winks at him and says, I hope these help get you lucky tonight. The guy says, I hope not. They're for my mom. What you talking about, Willis? A comedian, a patsy, and a jabroni walk into a bar. The bartender says, what can I get you, Mr. Zielinski?
If you smell!
I'm halfway through becoming a stand-up comedian. I can stand up, okay? Now all I need is some good comedy.
The Tony Tunes Weekly Words of Wisdom.
School reunion. A meeting where it takes you about 15 to 20 minutes to realize why you haven't seen these people in 20 years. Mad. The feeling that you originally didn't have, but others kept asking you about, and if you were, so now you're mad. Anti-stock. Systematically learning another person's routine in order to avoid them. One day, little Johnny asked his English teacher, Miss, why do we ignore some letters in pronunciation? Example, the letter H in hour and in honor. The teacher says, we are not ignoring them, Johnny. They're considered silent. Johnny was even more confused now. So during lunchtime, the teacher gives Johnny her lunch and tells him to go to the cafeteria and heat up her food. So Johnny ate all of the food and returned with the empty container. The teacher asks angrily, what happened here, Johnny? I told you to go and heat my food, and you're returning me an empty container? Johnny replies, I'm sorry, miss. I thought the H was silent.